episode of Chi Time with me, Clara Apollo, here with you to share some time and some space. So thank you so much for choosing to be here. I've been reflecting on this in the last few weeks of how distracted we are, and it can easily be, and how the commodity of your time and your attention is, should I say, not very well respected by many areas and people. So what I was thinking of sharing with you here, apart from the fact that I've got my new standing desk, which I'm really pleased about, so that I can move and be in the flow, as well as sort of sitting and being calm and not sitting. Well, I kind of sitting in the saddle is often referred to being in the Wu Chi, in the whole Qigong structure. But this is more around, so the conversations I've been having with quite a few people have been them saying that they don't have enough time to give to themselves. There's a real struggle with the whole self-care. They know that they need to do more self-care. They want to go on courses. They want to read. They want to develop and all that kind of stuff. But where do they find the time and space? And I so hear you. Is this like that for you? I mean, drop any comments in below if you really get like this, that it's the time. It's giving yourself time that is tricky. And it's also, I've found that even when I do give myself some time, what I expect to do in that time is not necessarily what I feel like doing when I get there. Do you know what I mean? So when we need to give space of this, don't we? So when we come into some self-time, some chi time, some time to look at your energy, to feel into how it is really being you at the moment. And you know, my first thing that I often do is I get my time to myself and I do nothing. I just go, you know what, I know this arena now. The best thing to do is to give myself some time and just go into nothing. Well, what do I mean by that? I'll step outside the door. I'll go and check the garden, which means how the leaves doing. In fact, I've introduced you to little peacock here, my Tradescantia that's gone absolutely huge this summer. She's really massive. And that sort of brings me back into the real moment with nature, and like it's doing nothing, but it's being. It's being in the moment. Yeah, you know, I do chat about this do-be dance and how we are, you know, we're kind of addicted to doing. We like to get things done. And I'm a woman that likes to get things done, absolutely. In fact, one of the reasons why I do Qigong and meditation and singing and dancing is to bring me out of all this doing and into a being, and a being more expressive and therefore more in balance. And you know what? Tell you a secret, I don't always get it right. I don't. I mess up. And I get like symptoms that my nervous system is like going, what are you doing? Oh, we don't want to do fight or flight or freezing right now, you know? So there are techniques that I use for myself that I really want to share with you here, because I think this is the thing, isn't it? Self-care, self-nourishment, and time to do it. So are you up for a little thing? I don't quite know why I did that, but I felt like a little twizzle. What I've been looking at, what I've been investigating on the whole chi arena, which is essentially your energy, is how can we give ourselves time? How can we get from doing busy stuff and wanting to do busy stuff and our minds being external and everything, and actually getting time to come into what do I need? What do I need right now? And you know, the mind thinks, oh, you need another cup of tea, or you need to go and do this task. Or one of the things that I do when I know that I've got a need sort of really going, I've got to do all this stuff, because there's quite a lot of tasks to do in the background here in the chi business, not going to lie. And what do I prefer to do is to be with you here, doing this kind of sharing, or being on the lives, or being in person and just sharing the chi. That's what I love most. And being on the dance floor and that kind of thing. But we need to be able to manage our lives, don't we? and we'll be able to manage ourselves within our lives. And so I was, as I say, doing some research, and I was getting into doing a particular sequence of Qigong moves this summer, and I was reminded of some of the notes that Master Ken Cohen gave out. So I was rifling through, because there's always something more to learn. You're coming around the spiral. What have I forgotten? You know, what is relevant now? Oh, that feels different because I'm in a different space. And this word really invited me into being this bridging point, this key place. And the word is song. And the word song has a different meaning in Chinese to how it does in English. Oh, we're going to enjoy this. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, why do I say that? Because I was overjoyed to realize that the word song in Chinese means to gift yourself a present, or to gift a present. It brings you into settling into yourself. So let's just do this now. Let's just take a deep breath in and song yourself into being the gift in your presence. You may like to say to yourself, I am the gift. How does that make you feel? It's lovely, isn't it? The song is the gift, and it is invited in at the beginning of all practice to come into sitting and be in that song, in that steadiness, in that stability, in that centeredness. And so I took the song out for a walk and let it sing to me. What more is here for us to play with? What more could assist us with our self-care and our coming out of busy beta doing and being happy to drop into the more alpha ranges of being and expanding and opening, being more intuitive, being able to have time and space to tune in. What is my system? What is my wise system wanting to say to me? Well, it's subtle stuff, so it struggles to do that when you're busy, So back into the song. So let's do a movement with this. This is the Great Wheel of Chi to bring the song in. So we're going to lift up, and as we come over the top, we let the hands slide down the center, and that's the out breath. So the in breath comes, picking up the song of the earth. And then make a sound on the way down. Should we do that again? You feel how your song is settling you. Just let your hands come to crossed hands at the lower belly as you land in your balanced place. And I'll tell you what happened when I took the song out for a story. What do I mean by that? When I took the song out for a walk and it told me a story. So here you are in the fields of the song. And if we look at these 4 letters, S.O.N.G, we can use these as an acronym to help bring us into the self-care and to help us to come into exploring curiously what this self-care is today in this moment. And so for the next few videos, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the wise stories that came through taking my song for a walk. And we've already had a little play with just letting the sound permeate through and to sing us into being stable. But I'd also like to look at that S. There's a lot in that S, isn't there? There's a lot in that S. And just ask you also, is there a word that begins with S that a bit like stable and steady, that is kind of coming to you now, that would like help to bring you into the beginning of your songing, your settling, your being, your self-care? Yeah, so that's your word that's come in for you now. I've already mentioned stable, settle, centering, although centering doesn't actually begin with an S, but I think we can get away with it. Because that's what's happening, isn't it? We're centering ourselves into our being, but we're also centering ourselves on the earth. Now, you might be sitting, in which case your sitting bones are on the chair, and they are connecting down your legs through your feet down into the earth. You're centering into the earth. And you're standing in your Wu Chi stance. Oh, can't quite go back far enough. But the legs are, you know, a good hip width apart, plus a little bit more. And you're bouncing in. Oh, bounce doesn't begin with S, but over in my Chi world, bouncing often leads to a shake. Those of you that have been in my sessions will know that shaking is a very important part of letting go of the old, creating space so the new has a place to land. Yes. So I'm going to suggest that not only have we just done the Great Wheel of Chi to settle you in to steady, but next what needs to come is a bit of shaking out of the old, shaking out the funk, shaking out the crap, shaking out what is ready to leave. And you can do that sitting, you can do that by getting your shoulders going, but I'm going to invite you to stand and shake. Yeah. And the shaking, you know, you've had your hands in your crossed hand position in your belly. This is your place of balance. And let's let your knees be easy. You fancy doing a bit of shaking with me? Just invite you in here to the beginning of the S.O.N.G thing, because something magical can happen when you do this like this. So, presencing yourself, softening into the support of the earth and the support of your bones, feeling the length of your spine being drawn up from the crown of your head. And the eyes gaze down at a 45-degree angle, so you're not tipping the neck back. Because when you're shaking, you want to shake up and down this centre line in integrity, so the body's got a place of reference to shake around. And then drop your attention into your belly. And imagine there's a little bouncy ball in the centre of your belly, so just below your navel, and just in a little bit. One of those jet balls we used to have as kids. Don't think you can get them anymore. They're probably dangerous. But you know what I mean? They're ones, they're very powerful. They start bouncing, and even a little bounce starts to do a bit of a jiggle, doesn't it? So get a bit of a jiggle going. Yes. So this is such a go-to for me, honestly. It's it's become a real friend, and it's so simple to do. So it's shaking from the belly. Or as I said, the bounce can become a shake if it wants to. So you allow your system to find what's true to it in the shaking it wants to do in this moment. So let's take 3 deep breaths in and out. Shake it all about. One more. And just even doing this for a minute or so will help to shake out what needs to release and shake you more into an alignment of congruity for this moment. And I just want you to imagine that as you're shaking out, all the detritus is dropping down into the earth. It's like you're going do, 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 do. It's dropping deep, 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 deep down. Now, you know, if you've done this practice before, you will also understand about dropping energetic roots in and connecting deeply with the centre of the earth. But really you can come into just shaking and trusting that the earth energy knows what it's doing and how it can compost your old rubbish, and this creates space in you for the new to come through. And I share more of this on the courses that I run, which you can find out more about on clarapollo.com. I'll leave a link below this video as well so that you can investigate further if you wish. So what we do, so shaking, you can do a good shake for like 5-7 minutes. If you go much longer than that, it starts to get aerobic, which has different properties to it. But we're coming into our natural energy, our vitality, should I say, our chi, our subtle energy, you know. So there's a magical thing that we can do now, right? This is the whole gathering process. So that just before you come into thinking, you know, I think I've had enough of this shaking now, just have a moment to think, but I'm going to gather in the energy of this shake to this space in my belly. There is a rechargeable battery in it. It's your Dantian reservoir of chi. Take your mind down there. Breathe into that space and let the in-breath begin to gather the movement in, which makes the movement begin to cease physically. And then you may notice like a presencing in your belly, or a still, whatever. I'm not going to suggest too much because this is your experience. But when you come into stillness with your awareness in your belly, just notice how you feel. Notice the settling. It's like you've shaken yourself up like one of them snow globes. And now it's stopped and everything's settling in a new configuration. Bring your hands, crossed hands over the belly again. And just say to yourself, I am steady. I am steady. I am steady. Deep breath in as you breathe out, let the hands go, shake about and go about your business. Thank you so much for playing the Chi Time game with me here on this episode. I'll be back with what the letter O means very soon so that we can really start to build towards what congruent self-care, I'm liking that word today, aren't I? What that is, what that feels like for you, and how it becomes a natural invitation to you. It becomes fun as well as a resource that you really, really need. So let me know how you're getting on. Let me know if any of this has made any sense to you, or if you've got other ideas for songing yourself into a being. I'd love to know. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again soon. Keep your chi up, my friend. And thanks for sharing your chi time with me.